lovely to be with you once again on this channel, Storytime Friends. Just in case you don't know me, I'm Ellie Sinclair, and although I am not an English native speaker, I write short stories with reflections in English to have the chance to reach as many people as possible in order to share my stories with them. We have a community on Facebook, Storytime Friends Community, where you can share your own reflections about your story with others, or you can follow us on Instagram, storytime.friends. And now let's get the show on the road and start with today's story, which title is, as you may know, Too Late to Say I Love You. It was a sunny Saturday afternoon, and Melissa asked her husband to have a cup of coffee together with some sandwiches that she had prepared. "Oh, I'm very busy. I have a lot of things to do. I must help Mike with the furniture for the new shop." Eat them with Kate," Justin answered. But Kate was going to hang out with some friends, and she couldn't eat the sandwiches with her mother, so Melissa stayed alone at home preparing dinner. "Hello, darling. Could you do all the things that you planned?" Melissa asked her husband when he came back home. "No, not all the things that I planned," Justin replied, annoyed. "Are you going to have a bath?" "Yeah, and I'm going to eat something and go to sleep." After Justin had had a bath, Melissa tried to kiss him, but he had put on the same dirty clothes, and the bad smell and his bad breath were a deterrent for her to get close to him. Justin had neglected his physical appearance a long time ago. His hair and beard were very untidy and gave him the aspect of a homeless person. But what hurt Melissa the most was the sour character that he had acquired. He had changed so much over the years. They scarcely talked to each other about their feelings or their plans for the future. Melissa loved her husband because she knew that he was a good man, but the relationship wasn't being nourished by him for a long time. In certain occasions, he seemed to be a stranger to her. She thought about traveling with him to share the holidays together, but he wasn't in agreement. "Don't you realize that we have to save money? We have to help Mike to settle down in his new business, and Melissa is going to get married soon," Justin answered, annoyed. "But it doesn't have to be an expensive holiday," Melissa answered. No. That means that we'll have to go on an excursion by bus, and I'll have swollen feet because of the long journey," Justin said, putting an end to the conversation. Mike had some problems with the suppliers in his new business, and that made Justin furious, intolerant, and even more sour. Melissa was afraid of asking about the problems, although she wanted to help. Kate was planning to get married in a few months, so Melissa was helping her a lot with the arrangements. They bought some curtains and furniture for the new house. "Mom, do you like the carpets that I have bought?" Kate asked her mother. "Yeah, they are perfect for the living room of your new house." "Daddy, do you like them?" "How much did they cost?" "Not much," Melissa answered. "You are spoiling our daughter. When we got married, we barely had the basic things for the house," Justin told Melissa. After a few months, Kate got married, and she was very happy to start a new life under her own rules. Mike was the owner of a prosperous shoe shop. Therefore, things seemed to be peaceful now. But Justin was so accustomed not to sharing his thoughts and feelings with his wife that he forgot to tell her how much he loved her. The days went by without noticing. The joy of being in love had faded away a long time ago in Melissa's heart. One cold winter night, Justin came back home to find Melissa lying dead on the kitchen floor. And although he called the doctor immediately, there was nothing he could do. Justin ran to Peter's house, who was his neighbor and his best friend, and he began to cry bitterly. I was always so busy and worried about the daily problems that arose that most of the time I wasn't in the mood to talk to her or spend time together, Justin said in a desperate way. I couldn't even tell her how much I love her. In the next life, my friend, in the next life, Peter answered back. This story leaves us as a reflection that we must cherish the love we have and the present moment in which we live. How many times are we so involved in trifles that we lose sight of the important things in life? We take for granted that we are going to share tomorrow with our loved ones, but we don't even know what the future holds. That's why it's so essential to live in the present moment and not wait to tell our loved ones how important they are to us. Because the only things that we are going to take with us when our lives come to an end are our experiences on earth, the positive and the negative ones. Justin became a bitter person, making his own life unhappy because of the perspective that he had about how to face the daily problems that always arise. He undoubtedly loved his family, but he had an ambiguous way of showing his love. How many beautiful moments he could have shared with his wife. We know that's a real challenge to hold the right perspective when we have to face difficulties, but we must take into account that they are going to be solved one way or another, and what cannot be solved, solve this. Sometimes we must experience certain situations that we can't avoid in order to grow personally, and that's when our acceptance is put to the test. Let's be open to what the future brings, with full confidence that it will be for our spiritual advancement. Thank you so much, friends, for tuning in and for being there as always. If you have enjoyed this story, give it a like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications to find out about my upcoming videos. Remember that each Saturday a new story is told on this channel. Don't miss to be part of our community on Facebook, Storytime Friends Community, so that you can enrich us with your own reflections, or follow us on Instagram, storytime.friends. I can't wait to see you very shortly in my next video. But before, I'll remind you that in your own personal life, you are the star.